Can we really say, for a fact, that this is reality? All right, fine. We're experiencing something right now, so maybe the better question is, what is reality? Could everything we see, everything we touch, every sound, every emotion, every star in the night sky be artificial? You see, there's a growing number of scientists and philosophers who believe that not only is it possible we're living in a simulation, it's likely. And the more we look for evidence, the more strange coincidences we actually find. So today, we're diving deep into one of the most mind-bending ideas ever conceived, that our universe, everything we know, might just be a cosmic computer program. Let's start with where this wild idea actually began. The modern form of the simulation hypothesis comes from a philosopher named Nick Bostrom at Oxford University. In 2003, Bostrom published a paper that blew the doors off philosophy forums and physics departments worldwide. He presented what he called the simulation trilemma, 3 logical possibilities. And he said at least one of them must be true. Option 1, civilizations like ours never get far enough to create a simulation of reality. We destroy ourselves first. Option 2, they get there, but choose not to simulate their past. Option 3, they do it. And if they do, then we're almost certainly living in one of those simulations right now. Bostrom argues that if even one advanced civilization in the universe creates simulated realities, they would likely create many of them. Each simulation could contain billions of beings, people like you and me, who believe they're living in a real world. And if that's true, the odds that you're living in base reality, the first original universe, drop to almost 0. When Elon Musk was asked what he thought the chances were that we live in base reality, he said 1 in billions. Neil deGrasse Tyson was a bit more conservative. He said it's a 50-50 shot. 50-50, that everything you see, your memories, your life, is artificial. That's not exactly reassuring, is it? Now, this idea isn't new, not at all. Over 2,000 years ago, a Greek philosopher named Plato wrote something called the Allegory of the Cave. It goes like this. Imagine a group of people who've spent their entire lives chained inside a dark cave facing a blank wall. Behind them is a fire, and between them and the fire is a walkway where others carry objects. Those objects cast shadows on the wall, and the prisoners watch them day after day, believing the shadows to be real life. Because to them, those shadows are reality. Now, imagine one prisoner escapes. He turns around for the first time and sees the fire, the objects, and eventually he steps outside into the real world. It's bright, it's painful, it's overwhelming, but it's truth. He realizes the shadows were only projections. Plato was saying, most of us never turn around. We live our whole lives watching the shadows on the wall. Sound familiar? It's basically the Matrix, only written in 400 BC. But it wasn't just the Greeks thinking this way. In ancient China, another philosopher named Zhuang Zhou, or Zhuangzi, had a dream. In that dream, he was a butterfly, fluttering around, free and happy. When he woke up, he wondered, am I Zhuang Zhou, who dreamed I was a butterfly? Or am I a butterfly now dreaming I am Zhuang Zhou? That question echoes across centuries. How can you know the difference between a dream and reality when both feel so completely real while you're in them? When you really think about it, What's the difference between a dream your brain creates and a simulation a computer creates? Both are systems that generate experience. Both can fool you completely. Maybe Zhuang Zhou was the first to hint at the simulation theory long before we had the language for it. In modern times, scientists have started to notice something strange about the universe. It looks suspiciously mathematical. Everything from the way galaxies form, to the way atoms vibrate, to the behavior of light, it all follows precise rules. So precise that physicists call it digital physics. The idea that the universe is fundamentally made of information, not matter. Think about that. Your entire life, your thoughts, the planet, the stars, could just be data being processed in real time. It's like when you zoom in on a video game. Eventually you see the pixels, you see the code. And maybe if we zoom in deep enough into our reality, we'd see the same thing. Some physicists say they already have. At the quantum level, the universe seems to behave like a giant computer. There's a minimum unit of time, called the Planck time, and a minimum unit of space, the Planck length. Nothing smaller exists. Which means even reality has a frame rate, just like a video game. Of course, every simulation has its bugs. Some people point to what's known as the Mandela effect, as a possible sign that our reality sometimes updates or rewrites itself. Millions of people remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s, yet he actually passed away in 2013. People swear they grew up reading the Berenstain Bears, spelled with an E-I-N, but it's always been Berenstain with an A-I-N. And that little Monopoly guy? He never had a monocle, not once. Are these just collective false memories or tiny glitches in the code? Now, if you want something that really melts your brain, listen to this. Physicists have this famous experiment called the double-slit experiment. They shoot tiny particles, like electrons, through two slits in a barrier. When they're not being watched, those electrons act like waves, creating an interference pattern. But the moment scientists observe them, the pattern changes. The electrons start acting like particles again. It's as if the universe only renders reality when someone's looking. Sound familiar? That's exactly how a computer simulation saves power. It only renders what you can see. So maybe, just maybe, the universe works the same way. What's so wild is that these ancient philosophers, Plato in his cave, Zhuang Zhou in his dream, they were all trying to say the same thing. That what we perceive is not the whole story. That reality is a veil, a beautiful, convincing veil, but still a veil. And now, with modern science, we might finally have the tools to lift it. But the question is, what happens when we do? Do we wake up like Zhuang Zhou, realizing we were just a butterfly dreaming we were human? Or do we discover we're just lines of code running in someone else's machine? That's where things start to get personal. Because if we are living in a simulation, that means the question isn't just what is reality? It's what does it mean to be real?
Let's talk about the speed of light. You're probably familiar with the fact that nothing can travel faster than the speed of light in a vacuum. 299,792,000 meters per second. This limit is a cornerstone of modern physics. But have you ever stopped to ask why there's such a speed limit? Why can't we exceed this speed? One possibility, according to the simulation hypothesis, is that the speed of light is a fundamental constraint designed to keep the simulation running smoothly. Just like in a video game, there are performance limitations. When a game engine runs, it has to process and render all the information in a specific time frame. The universe might work in a similar way. If we could travel faster than the speed of light, we would essentially be moving too quickly for the simulation to render the world around us. It's like trying to run ahead of the game's programming. This is a fascinating idea because it suggests that the speed of light isn't just a cosmic law. It might be a built-in limitation designed to keep everything running properly. If we break this speed limit, we could encounter unrendered parts of the universe that haven't been simulated yet. So, if the world really is a simulation, then here's the question that keeps philosophers awake at night. Do we actually have free will? Because if everything around us, from the stars to the smallest atom, follows some coded pattern, then maybe our choices do too. Maybe our decisions are just algorithms running perfectly, predictably, one line at a time. And that's unsettling, isn't it? Because we like to believe we're the ones steering the wheel. In the last decade, artificial intelligence has moved from science fiction to everyday life. We've built machines that learn, that talk, that create. AI systems can now paint portraits, write songs, generate human-like conversation, some even design other AIs. It's almost poetic. We're creating intelligence inside a world that might itself be created by intelligence. A mirror inside a mirror, infinite reflections. If we can build digital minds, who's to say someone or something didn't build ours? Here's where things get tricky. Let's say we do create conscious beings inside our own simulations. They laugh, they suffer, they dream, they fall in love. Would we tell them they aren't real? Would we shut them off when we're done testing? If we did, would that be murder? Nick Bostrom once warned that civilizations capable of creating simulations also inherit the power to destroy realities beneath them. What if storms, extinctions, miracles are not acts of nature or God, but patch updates, code changes to balance the simulation? Scary thought, isn't it? In quantum mechanics, particles don't follow clear rules until someone looks at them. Before observation, they exist in a cloud of possibilities, every state at once. But the moment they're observed, they choose. Now think about that for a second. What if our choices work the same way? Every decision exists as probability until we observe ourselves making it. Then the simulation locks it in. Free will and fate become the same thing, a quantum loop where observation creates reality. It's like the universe is a game engine, and each time you act, it renders the scene around you. So when you ask, am I really in control? Maybe the answer is both yes and no. You feel free because the code was written to make you feel that way. Consciousness is the one thing science can't fully explain. We can map neurons, measure brain waves, simulate responses, but we still don't know why any of it feels like something. Some philosophers believe consciousness isn't an accident. It's the core feature of the simulation. The program needs observers. Without observing, the world doesn't render. It's like when ancient philosophers like Zhuang Zhou were already hinting at it in his dream. He wasn't asking if he was real. He was asking if reality exists at all without him to perceive it. That question, 2,000 years old, is still our biggest mystery. So let's say for a moment that everything is coded, from the motion of atoms to the beat of your heart. What does that mean for your choices? When you decide to watch this video, was that your decision? Or was it a line of code executing at exactly the right moment because the simulation needed you to hear this message? It's the problem of free will. If everything you think and do was predetermined by the rules of this program, then free will is just an illusion. A beautiful one, sure, but still an illusion. And if that's true, then the idea of morality, of good and evil, gets blurry too. Because how can you punish a character for doing what their code told them to do? Now, fast forward a few decades, maybe centuries. We reach a point where our computers can simulate entire worlds, down to every atom. We upload minds, create digital humans, simulate consciousness. At that moment, we become the creators of new realities, new simulations within our own. And those digital beings will ask the same questions we're asking right now. Who am I? Is this real? Do I have free will? And we'll say to them, well, you think you do. That's the loop of creation. Simulations creating simulations, each believing they're the first. Like digital Russian nesting dolls of reality. The butterfly was real to Zhuang Zhou because he felt it. The shadows in Plato's cave were real to those who saw them. Reality is not what's true, it's what's felt. If there's a simulation, there must be a programmer. Someone or something beyond our universe pulling the strings. Some call that entity God. Some call it the architect. Some just call it the source. Whatever the name, the truth is the same. We are not at the top of the hierarchy. And maybe that's okay. Maybe our purpose isn't to escape the simulation, but to understand it, to play our part so well that we add something beautiful to the code. Maybe the Creator is watching right now, not to judge us, but to learn from us. Maybe Zhuang Zhou was both the butterfly and the dreamer, two versions of the same existence within a greater simulation. Maybe you're the same. When you close your eyes at night and dream of flying, who's to say that's less real than this moment right now? Reality might not be about what's real. It might just be about what we can experience. Thank you for watching.